Hi, this is Tom Vineski with the Times Leader Outdoors. I'm here with George Bowers today on Harvey's Lake. George is the founder of Fishing for a Cause, a nonprofit charity fishing organization in the area. And today George is going to demonstrate the third technique in our bass fishing technique series. It's one called drop shotting. It's newer to the area. It came from out west, George.
Yeah, it's probably been in the area probably about 5 years or so that guys have been really fishing it hard. But it basically came from out west where they fish a lot of deep water, clear lakes, and that is where it came from.
How you set up for it?
So basically what I'm using here is a 7-foot rod. This is a Loomis rod. It's a fast action tip rod, and it does have some backbone to it. I have it, the line on this is 8-pound monofilament line. Then at the swivel here, I have probably 2 feet of 6-pound fluorocarbon line. I have a size 1 hook, short shank, mosquito hook, and then on the bottom is the drop shot weight. And basically what the weight here on the bottom is, if you get stuck, you could actually pull up. When you pull to get it off, this will actually cut your line and you don't lose your rig above it, you just lose your weight. Another technique that a lot of guys are using now is they'll put a tube on the bottom. So you're fishing a tube here and fishing your lure up here. Today we're going to use these are called the Pineapple from Yamamoto. They're a Senko type of plastic that we're going to use. And basically what we're going to do with this is just put it straight over the hook. And as that's down in the water, it will stand out like that in the water there. This here could be used, again, in deep water, deep clear water, could be used on the edge of weed beds. Basically what we're doing is throwing that out, letting that sink down to the bottom. Once it's on the bottom, we keep a taut line on it, and what we're doing is we'll just move that around a little bit. Just with the rod tip, we'll just move it around to give a little action to that pineapple piece of plastic. And you'll feel the fish pick that up and move with it, or you'll feel that tap, a hard tap on the line with it. Now a lot of people could fish this in shallow water, deep water. Right now we're in a weed bed here. They're also fishing this style, they're calling it power fishing now, with a drop shot. And basically what they're doing is putting a heavier weight on the bottom and putting a bigger worm or Senko on top of it, and they're basically power fishing the weeds with it. So what I mean by that is they'll have a bigger bait on it, and they're looking for the holes in the weeds, and they see a hole in the weed, they're basically just dropping it into the hole in the weeds. 1-2 bounces with it, nothing, then they reel right back in and look for the next hole in the weeds.
George, this seems like a good technique you could use around here on some of the smaller farm ponds and whatnot. When the weeds start to get thick in the middle of summer, towards the end of summer, you could kind of pinpoint pockets and target areas.
Yeah, especially when you're on a boat, you're able to pick the pockets out with, you know, when the dark versus the light on the gravel or the sand bottom. It's good spots to do that with. I wouldn't really recommend it from shore too often. Just because of the amount of weeds that we pull in, because your hook is exposed. You could fish it weedless also, but the swivel would pick up weeds and other parts would pick up weeds with it.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you.